Namaste, Namaste everyone. We are in the last moment of that ray optics, last part of the ray optics, telescopes and microscopes. Already in the previous class we have studied the ray diagrams of the telescopes and microscopes, and one magnification we have found out. Now today we will put a light on all the derivations. Of course, if it is difficult on your part, just study the final formula, that is more important, and the ray diagram is important, but try to follow the derivation, because you will have to have some already some that definitions and the terms regarding magnification. So I will put those definitions in between. Okay. So first of all, we will with the ray diagram we will try to derive the derivation. And you know that there is a simple microscope. What is a simple microscope? Simple microscope is a simple lens, convex lens, in which object is kept within the focus, and the image is magnified on the same side, enlarged, erect, virtual. That is a simple microscope. So if you draw the ray diagram for a simple microscope, it will be like this. Suppose this is the first focus, and if this is the another focus, of course, the 2F, and this is F, and this is 2F. And if you keep an object within the focus, then two rays of light you have to consider. One from A, from the same point you have to consider two rays, and it passes through the focus, and another ray passing through the optic center, that is the geometric center of the lens, and it should be geometrically, it should be proper. Since we are not using any scale or so, only we are drawing the diagram with our own measurements. Okay, so here should be an object. I'll take a small object because I know that I am going to get an enlarged image. So parallel ray passes through the focus. Another ray passing through the optic center, they diverge. And a person observing from here, he feels that these two rays are coming from a distant object here, somewhere here, or distant point here, right, somewhat like this. So the two rays appear to diverge or appear to come from a point here. So like this. This will be the enlarged virtual image. So since these two rays, one this one, another this one, arrow marks very important, diagram is also important. These two rays start from the point A of the object, so that is why this is A dash, the portion of the image. Similarly, all the rays starting from different points of this source will meet at different points here. We can retrace it by geometry itself. You need not draw every ray diagram from every point of the object. Just once you get the image of this here, we are very sure that other images will be here. So the whole image will be here. So A dash, B dash is the virtual enlarged direct image formed on the same side as the object. This is the case of the simple microscope. So you have to use the lens and you have to move the lens in such a way that object lies within the focus. Okay, so what is the magnification involved here? If you want to know the magnification, we know that M is equal to H dash by H, that is equal to V by U. What is H dash? That comes to be H dash is equal to HV by U, right? Or HV by U. And you know that here, if you want to know the magnification, you can substitute for U, because you know the lens formula, 1 by F is equal to 1 by V minus 1 by U. Let us substitute for 1 by U. 1 by U is, it can be taken here, and 1 by F here. We did this in the previous class. 1 by U is equal to 1 by V minus 1 by F. So let us substitute it here. So that comes to H dash is equal to H into V by U, H by U. Or we will write the equation for magnification only. It is HV by U. Okay, HV by U. That is equal to H into V into, by U can be substituted as 1 by V minus 1 by F, right? So if you bring V into the bracket, inside the bracket, what you will get? That comes to, so H dash is equal to H into 1 by V into 1 by V, 1 minus V into 1 by F, V by F, right? Of course, I could have taken H here only, so I will keep H dash by H itself. That itself is the magnification. I need not have done that. I could have substituted 1 by U here only. So let it be H dash by H is equal to 1 minus V by F, right? But where is V? We have to adjust the lens in such a way that image is formed at the least distance of distinct vision, at least. So the minimum possible distance at which you can see the image clearly. That is almost 25 centimeter for a normal human being. So where is the image now? Image is formed at the distance of least distance of distinct vision. So what is this then? V is minus D because it is coming on the left hand side. So what happens to the magnification? I'll write it here. H dash by H, which is nothing but magnification. Magnification is given by 1 minus D by F, or M is equal to 1 plus D by F. So 1 plus near point, that is the least distance of distinct vision, divided by focal length of the lens. That is the magnification in the case of a simple microscope when the image is at D. That means when the image is formed at least distance of distinct vision. Suppose this object is very close to the focus, what happens? Then these rays become parallel and parallel and parallel. If the object is exactly at the focus, these two rays will be exactly parallel and they never meet. Suppose it is very close to the focus, these rays will meet at a very large distance. You will get a highly magnified image, and so if the image is at infinity, so for this is when the image is at D. This is the derivation for when the image is at D. Magnification of a microscope, simple microscope, right? When the image is at D. And so this is the formula. So you could have written H dash by H itself. You can write it like that way only. So you can bring this here only. You need not take H to that side. Then you can remove this H. So it becomes H dash by H, 1 plus D by F. Very simple derivation. Now, if the image is at infinity, that means a very large distance, when the object is very close to the focus, what is the magnification? In that case, can you apply the same magnification? Because image is not at the least distance of distinct vision. It is formed at very large distance. What is the ray diagram for the formation of image at infinity? That means you have to keep the object at focus. Yes, one ray coming from A parallel to the principal axis passes through the focus. And another ray passing through the optic center becomes parallel to the first ray, right? So it becomes parallel here. So let me change the focus. Yeah, it is here and they will be moving parallel. What about here? Again parallel. Even if you produce it backwards or forward, they become parallel. So we say that the image is formed at infinity. So one ray here passing like this, one ray here. Now, how to find out the magnification here? Whenever the image is at a very large distance, we use a different type of formula for the magnification. For example, in especially telescope, for example, when you look into moon by using your naked eye, what the image is formed inside the retina, and when you look through the telescope, what the image is formed, there is a difference. When you look through the telescope, you can see the points, different points on the moon separately, very clearly. You can see the craters, you can see the hills, ups and downs, everything. But when you look into the moon from bare eyes, you won't be able to identify all these differences. But through the telescope, image becomes clear. So how much larger is the image when seen through the telescope compared to when you look into the moon with bare eyes? That is compared and that is written as magnification. You can't write magnification when the image is at a very large distance as size of the image by size of the object. So does telescope produce the magnification? Definitely. It is the magnification as compared to when you see it using bare eyes. So you can see the better image through the telescope. That is what we do. So in that case, definition goes little different. How it is done? The angular position or angular position of the or angular size of the object and angular size of the image, when they are compared, which is larger. What do you mean by angular size? Angular size means suppose you are looking into two stars on the sky. The light coming from the two stars will subtend an angle at your eyes, right? That is angular position. Suppose you look into a star like this, then they will create an angle in your eyes. So that is the angular position. Suppose if you are looking, suppose there is a hill and you are looking towards a tower from a very distant place from here, then what is the angular position of this tower? It is like this. And if you come closer and closer, that angular position goes on increasing. And when you come very close to the tower, you can't see the tower at once, because the vision angle or the area which it covers will not be enough. So because you have to receive these two rays through your eyes, that is not possible. So the angular position goes on increasing as you go closer and closer to the object. Now, how much angle the object will subtend when it is seen through the bare eyes? Now I am defining it for microscope. I will write the heading here. This is microscope, simple microscope itself. So magnification for simple microscope, but image at infinity. This case, when the image is at infinity, look into the object at the least distance of distinct vision. How much angle it will create in your eyes? Look into the image which is formed at a very large distance. How much angle it will create? That ratio, angle subtended at the eye by the image to the angle subtended by the object when the object is at least distance of distinct vision, and that ratio of angles is called magnification. So you have to go for a different one. So how to calculate this, sir? First take the object. Yeah, and you know that the image of the object is not so clear. You have to look through the microscope, then only you will get the enlarged image. Now you take the object. For the object, I will take the object. Keep the object in front of your eyes. No microscope, no telescope now. You are not looking through any device. You are looking into the object directly. Now if suppose your eye is somewhere here, okay? And how much angle the two rays coming from the two ends of the object will create. This is the angle created at the eye by the object. Of course, this angle will be very small because microscope is always used to view an object which is very small, right? Which cannot be distinguished or which cannot be seen clearly through your ordinary eyes without any instrument. So such objects will be viewed through microscopes. So this angle will be very small. So if you take sin theta and tan theta, it is almost equal to theta. Okay, so this is the height of the object, right? H, and h dash is always used for height of the image. This is h. And what is this distance? Let us keep it at least distance of distinct vision. This is not the image. Remember, we are getting the image at the least distance of distinct vision. Now we are holding the object itself. Object itself is kept at least distance of distinct vision, right? Now, write tan theta. Tan theta. So just hold the object in front of you at least distance of distinct vision, which is almost equal to theta naught. What is the ratio of this? Opposite side by adjacent side, h by d. Am I right? This is the formula. So this is viewed simply in front of your eyes. You have not yet started observing the object through the microscope. So sign conventions don't hold good here. Simply you are holding your object without any instrument, and only eye lens is in the picture now. Eye lens is a common thing, and without eye lens you can't see any object. So no sign conventions have to be placed. Simply you are looking at an object. So h by d, that's all. Left side, right side doesn't have any meaning here. Theta naught is h by d. Now, one portion we have got. What is theta I? What is theta I? See, image is formed. These rays are coming from a very distant object or here. So they are at a very far away point, and let me see, just imagine that it is a very large image, far away and very far away. And I call this as the image distance V, because if you just keep this object little within focus, what happens is these rays diverge and they meet at a very large position. So shall I call this as the angle subtended at the eye by the image? Actually these rays are coming to the eyes, right? These rays are coming to your eyes and they produce the virtual image, erect image somewhere else at a very large distance. That means how much angle they will create with respect to the principal axis. So shall I call it as theta I, angle created by the image. And if this is theta I, definitely this is theta I, because these two are vertically opposite angles. And if this is theta I, what is tan theta I? tan theta of the image position or size is equal to opposite side, that is height of the image, divided by height, opposite side by adjacent side. It is V. Tan theta is h dash by V, and V is in this side. Is it minus V? Correct? Because image is on the same side as object, it is opposite to the rays of light coming, you have to measure it, so minus V. Now this is almost equal to theta I. Since theta I is very small, theta I is small, what I can write? Theta I is almost equal to h dash by minus V. Now you have to substitute for h dash. You know that magnification in a lens, h dash by h is equal to V by U. What does it mean? That is equal to, or that implies h dash is equal to hv by U. Right? Shall I substitute that h dash here? So what happens? Because why are you doing all these things? Because you see, we have got theta naught h by d. When I substitute that theta naught and theta I, h should get cancelled. So try to express theta I somehow in terms of h, not in terms of h dash. So let us try to remove h dash. H dash equal to hv by v. So we get h now in the equation, which get cancelled later. Theta I is almost equal to, what is h dash? hv by u into minus 1 by v, right? 1 by minus v here. H dash is hv by u. So what you can cancel? V and V I can cancel. So that is minus h by u. Now one more thing, u. What is u? We have placed the object at a very, very close to focus point, so that images are formed at a very, very large distance, highly magnified. So it is at infinity and the object is at focus. So shall I write the object distance as focal length itself? But it is minus f. So shall I write u is equal to minus f? So what will be this one? So that implies theta I is equal to minus h divided by minus f, because u is equal to minus f. When the image is at infinity, object is at focus, you know it. So the distance of the object is on the other side, it is minus focal length. It is not for the reason that it is convex lens. Focal length is not taken negative as it is, because convex lens focal length is positive. It is not that reason. Focal length of a convex lens is positive, but this distance is treated as focal length, which is on this side. That distance is negative. That is why minus f. So what is the theta I plus h by f, right? So this is actually minus, but it gets cancelled. Now substitute for magnification. Magnification for a microscope. When the image is at infinity, m is equal to theta I by theta naught, which is equal to theta I by theta naught. Theta I, we have got it here, h by f into theta naught. Theta naught already we have, it is here, h by d. H here, d here. So h gets cancelled. M is equal to d by f, right? See, finally you have the formula. If you have not followed the method, just try to go back and see the video once again. And if you have any doubt, you can clarify it through message, and you can send a message to again the same number. Okay, because I don't know where you will get trapped. I have told whatever I know. If you have still some more doubts, you just clarify it. But remembering this formula, remembering the diagram is important. So what are the two differences, or what is the difference between the two microscopes? Both are simple microscopes. One is image formed at least distance of distinct vision, near point. Another is image formed at infinity. Now finally, what is important for theory exam is only diagram and final formula. That is more than enough, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't follow the derivation. May be useful in solving any problem. So m equal to d by f, and finally it becomes very easy to remember the formula. You see, you have 1 plus d by f, that, and you have m equal to d by f. That's all. That's all the difference. So that is the second one. So magnification in the case of convex lens, simple microscope, and image at infinity. So shall I rub this and write it here only in short? I'll write it in short. So this is a simple microscope, and image is at least distance of distinct vision. Image is not at a very large distance. So magnification is 1 plus d by f. Okay, simple. And this is image at infinity. Okay, and magnification is d by f. That's all. capital D by F. Magnification is D by F. So two types of image formation. Now we will move on to the compound microscope. And you know the magnification of simple microscopes in two positions we have finished. In a compound microscope there should be two lenses. Now first of all we will draw the diagram for compound microscope. How will the compound microscope form the image? So shall we draw it? So better you draw it yourself, because you shouldn't keep on watching it. Watching these types of diagrams will not teach you. You have to draw it along with me. So hope you are doing so. So now let us write the magnification in the case of compound microscope. Magnification in compound microscope. So what is compound microscope? The microscope which uses two lenses and forms the highly magnified image compared to the simple microscope. Yes. Magnification in the case of compound microscope. The process remains the same, but here you have two lenses. How the two lenses work? First of all, you have to take a simple lens like this, and it should form an enlarged real image. Objective should form the enlarged real image. That enlarged real image should act like an object for the eyepiece, which is within the focus. Then simple microscope procedure. So let me take the focus of objective here, double the focus of objective here, and focus of objective here, double the focus of objective here. Keep an object between f0 and f, 2f0, f and 2f. One ray parallel to the principal axis passes through focus, and another ray passing through the optic center, and after refraction it moves like this and it meets here beyond 2f. So this is the image. I'll write this as the height of the object. This is with respect to objective only. So let me write it here. This is objective. So we have to find out the magnification produced by each lens, and then we have to multiply it. I will tell you why you have to multiply it. So this is the h dash for objective. Okay. Now we have to keep this eyepiece here. Eyepiece must be kept in such a way that this image lies right within its focus, because virtual erect enlarged image is always formed when the object is within the focus. For this lens, this is the object now, and its focus will be here. This is the focus of eyepiece, and this is the focal length of objective, and this is the eyepiece, and this is the focal length of the objective here, right? And okay, the distance between here is a gap between the two foci, right? This focus, of course 2f is not needed now. Let us reduce the confusion by writing so many terms here. Now this distance is called tube length in a microscope. Let me take this as tube length. That is called tube length. The distance from the focus of the objective to the focus of eyepiece, which is very close to the image formed by the objective. This lies just within the focus. So if you take it like this, then of course these two rays will diverge. Of course what I have to do is, when you draw the ray diagram, you should know everything about it. We know that the image should be formed somewhere here. It should be formed anywhere in here. Suppose it is formed here, then you just draw these diagrams after you combine this and this one. Okay, now in this direction you project it, because once you project it, if they don't meet that, then it will be a problem. Okay, ray diagram means it should be a straight line. It looks like, it is like this. These two rays, they diverge after passing through the eyepiece in such a way that they appear to come from this point. So the final image is formed. Yes, this is the final image position, and it is virtual, enlarged, erect. What do you mean by erect image? Compared to this condition, this is erect, because this is the object for the eyepiece. So final image is formed here, and did we put all the arrows? No arrow here, no arrow, otherwise I would have lost some 1 or 2 marks. So you should be careful while putting the arrow marks. Okay, now what is magnification? Now the total magnification is magnification of objective into magnification of eyepiece. Why, sir? Say this object is having a height of 1 centimeter. The magnification produced by the object is say some three times. What do you mean by 3 times magnification? Then this image is 3 times the image here is 3 times the size of the object. That means if object height is 1 centimeter, this should be 3 centimeters, magnified 3 times. Now that serves as an object for this lens, and it forms a virtual erect enlarged image here because the object is lying just within the focus. If it is not within the focus, you can adjust it. You have rack and pinion arrangement. Okay, now this is 3 centimeters. Say this is producing a magnification of 5 times magnified. What do you mean by that? If the object is 3 centimeters in height, then you will get a 15 centimeter height image, magnified image. What is the total magnification? 1 centimeter object, because of objective and objective, total has produced a 15 centimeter image 15 times, which is nothing but 3 into 5. Very simple. So you have to multiply it. Now what is the magnification of objective and what is the magnification of eyepiece? So in order to find it out, you can do it like this. I will take some angles here now. I will take this angle as beta. Can you see that? Right? That angle as beta, because if I want to find out the magnification, I have to find out h dash by h. So if I want to get h dash and h, you see in which triangle you get h dash and h? One is here, and in which one side is almost tube length, another side is h dash. What about here in this triangle? In this triangle, of course I will rub the arrow mark and I will put the arrow mark somewhere here so that I don't lose any mark, and this is beta. I'll take that angle as beta. Sir, if you have marked beta, okay, adjacent side is f0. What about opposite side? It is nothing but the same one, because this is a parallel ray, this is h. So shall I take this as h? Opposite side by adjacent side. So here you get h, here you get h dash, and this is definitely beta. Why? It is vertically opposite angle, because this ray, once it passes to the focus, doesn't deviate, it passes in the same direction. That means it doesn't bend. So these two are straight lines, these are vertically opposite angles. Now take tan beta from this triangle. What is tan beta? Tan beta is equal to opposite side, which is nothing but h, by adjacent side, which is nothing but focus of objective. Now remember, I am finding out the magnification of objective only, not the magnification of eyepiece. I haven't moved up to eyepiece. Okay, this tan beta is also equal to, from this triangle opposite side by adjacent side, which is nothing but tube length L. We call it as tube length, the distance from the focus of eyepiece objective to the focus of eyepiece. Now what is h dash by h? That is what you call magnification. I can write h dash here only, and I will bring this h here. H dash by h is equal to L by f0. L here, h here, and h dash here only. This is the magnification of objective only. Am I right? L by f0. Okay. And say imagine this image is not at infinity, it is at least distance of distinct vision. You know that in a simple microscope, of course, this plays the role of a simple microscope. Am I right? This plays the role of simple microscope. Its focal length is Fe. So what is the magnification for this eyepiece? Magnification of eyepiece is 1 plus d by Fe, because image is not at infinity. Image is at some certain distance, that is least distance of distinct vision. ME is 1 plus d by Fe. So what is the total magnification? Total magnification is equal to magnification of objective, how much magnified image is produced by the objective, that is h dash by h for objective, that is n by f0, into magnification of eyepiece, that is already derived in the first case. When the object is at near point, what is the magnification of a lens? 1 plus d by Fe. So finally the simple microscope role is played by eyepiece. So here you have to write the focal length of the eyepiece, 1 plus d by f. This is the magnification produced by a compound microscope. L by f0 into 1 plus d by Fe. Only 2 steps. At least at the end you must know this. Diagram, no agreement then. Sir, shall we leave the diagram? Is it so important? Yes, this is important. Formula and diagram, at least at the last case. So this is how we find out that magnification in the case of a compound microscope. One thing is left now, that is the telescope. Sir, what is the magnification in a telescope? We are using refracting telescope using convex lenses. We will draw the ray diagram and we will find out the magnification. Shall I rub this one? That is the last one in this chapter, and we will have to work out some problems regarding this also, combination of lenses. Then we will move on to the next chapter, but we will finish it now. Telescope, magnification. So telescope is an device used to view distant objects. It also contains objective and eyepiece. Shall I draw the diagram here? So this is an objective, this is the principal axis, and distant rays, rays from the distant object are coming from for a telescope, because we always focus the telescope to a very distant object. Parallel rays will be coming to the objective, and I will draw those parallel rays like this, 1, 2 and 3, like this. So what the objective will do, it will pass those parallel rays and focus them at a particular point, and that point is called focus. So these rays move like this and meet at focus like this. Now will they stop there? No, they will proceed, and they proceed like this. This proceeds like this, it doesn't bend, and this one like this. Now this is the focal length of objective here. They will move forward. Now we have to keep the eyepiece here such a way that again this lies at the point where from where they are diverging. That point acts like the focus of eyepiece also. This is eyepiece. So the lens, eyepiece lens, is placed in such a way that that point from which these rays are diverging, that acts like the focus for this one also. Now total tube length is f0 plus fe, that you can follow it. Now how is the image formed? If parallel rays are incident on a convex lens, they meet at focus. If the rays start from the focus, they become parallel, like this. They become parallel off. We must have drawn a correct diagram now. Okay, shall I rub this one? And I will bend it a little bit. I will redraw this one, because for the derivation I need some space here. Yes, this is the eyepiece, and this is the principal axis. Of course, this is the focal length of eyepiece. S, this one ray moving like this one becoming parallel, this one becoming parallel. And these rays appear to come from again infinity, but this image formed by these parallel rays will be far better than the image formed by these rays when seen directly. Okay? Now, so here is the eye position. I hope you can see all the diagram and it is visible. Right. Now, you consider this ray. Here arrow missing. Okay. This one like this. Right. Now, I will take some angles here. Which angle I will consider, because I want to find out the magnification here. Again, the magnification total is equal to magnification of objective, magnification of eyepiece. How much objective will magnify the image, and how much that image is magnified again by the eyepiece. So objective and eyepiece magnification product is the total magnification. And if I want to know it, I have to draw a diagram. Again, here you see image is formed at infinity. How is the definition for the magnification when the image is formed at infinity? Magnification definition is the ratio of the angle created by the image at the eye to the angle created by the object at the eye. That is what you have to go for. When the image is at infinity, you can't expect an image which is larger than the size of the object itself. That is not possible. You can't have an image greater than the size of the moon. That is impossible. So you should have an image which will be better than the image which is seen through your naked eyes. when seen through the telescope. You should have a better image. So ratio of the angle created at the eye by the image to the angle created at the eye by the object. So if you directly come in front of the telescope and look into the object from here, now is this the angle created by the eye, object at the eye? So shall I take it as theta naught? Right? Shall I take it as theta naught? Yes. If I take it as theta naught and I simply take it as x or h, I'll take this as x. Okay? Then if this ray is almost parallel to the principal axis, if I take it like this, then this is also x. Am I right? This position is also x. So I can take this as x. Is it okay? You can follow it? If I take this ray almost becoming parallel to the principal axis and getting focus, then this will be the focus of eyepiece again. Am I right? If I take this ray parallel to the principal axis almost and getting refracted, then this will be the focus also for the eyepiece. If this is the focus for eyepiece, if this ray is parallel, I can write this as focal length of the eyepiece. And when you look into these rays and they form the angle here, so shall I write this and this angle as angle created by the image at your eyes and theta I. This is theta naught. Shall I go for the vertically opposite angle, theta naught? Am I right? I will remove that arrow mark from here, which is disturbing me. Yes, this is theta naught. So if you directly come in front of the telescope, look into the object, how much angle they create with respect to the principal axis of the whole setup. That is theta naught. Angle created by the object at the eye. Okay. So this is theta naught, this is theta naught. I'll take this as x because I want a triangle for this one. Because this side, adjacent side is focal length. Here also, this is x. So if this ray is almost parallel, take it up to this, then this is x. Shall I write this also as x? And of course, this after refraction passes the focus. Here also it is Fe. So what is tan theta naught, which is almost equal to theta naught, is equal to tan theta naught is opposite side by adjacent side, x by f naught, equation 1. What is tan theta I, angle created at the eye by the image at the eye. So shall I take it as theta I here? When it is tan theta I, opposite side x divided by adjacent side, focal length of the eyepiece, x by Fe, it is 2. Now what is magnification? Magnification is equal to theta I by theta naught, theta I be x by Fe, and into theta naught is f naught by x, x by f naught here like this. So f naught by Fe. So implies magnification is focal length of the objective by focal length of the eyepiece. Very simple one. Magnification has no unit. Even in all the formulas, they don't have any unit. Length by length gets cancelled. The unit wise it gets cancelled. So magnification is this formula. So very simple one, but you have to consider one ray if you want to understand it. This ray is missing in your textbook and they have not mentioned it. They have given it only within these rays. But if you write this ray, you will try to understand mathematically the equations written and you will have a link with the diagram. So that's why I have taken this extra ray which is getting almost parallel to this principal axis, again getting through the focus. Now you can see how much angle they create. The angle created by the image forming ray and object ray. This is theta naught, this is theta I. So you can get it. Again, final formula and diagram, very, very important. And you may get one simple question here saying, how can you increase the magnification of a telescope? Very simple. Take an eyepiece of very, very small focal length. Right? If Fe is very, very small, magnification will be very large. Of course, you can take an objective of a larger focal length also, but we want to have a telescope as small as possible. So magnification of a telescope is can be increased by decreasing the focal length of the eyepiece. So that's all about the derivation, and we will come along with some problems related to this as well as, which is very rarely asked in the exam, but still you must know it. Not for the sake of examination we are learning, we must know it a little more than what you are going to write in the exam. Knowledge wise or entrance exam wise, it is helpful. So with this we will conclude, and next time we will meet with a few problems and all, and we will go to the next chapter. So till then, keep trying this, keep studying this one, don't waste the time. and because we don't know what will happen in the next term, that is after 1.5 or 1 month. If you have a class, then we won't have enough time for anything. So better you study all those things and get ready in advance for the next academic year. So keep studying, keep watching all these videos. Till then, all the best. Thank you for watching.